Ja, bevor das eigentliche Filmgespräch beginnt, wollte ich noch kurz was sagen für den Verein Naxos.Kino, der diese Reihe zusammen mit der Universität betrieben hat. Und wie ich vorhin schon sagte, das war die 6. Veranstaltung, die es vereinbart war. Und heute haben wir sogar, glaube ich, einen Besuch, einen Rekord. Wir haben hier so Karten ausgegeben, einfach damit wir wissen, wie viele Leute da waren. Und wir haben 137 Karten ausgegeben. Also ich glaube, die letzte Veranstaltung hat die meisten Besucher gehabt. Und es gibt ja den Spruch, wenn es am schönsten ist, sollte man aufhören. Und ich wollte mich nochmal für alle Naxos-Aktivisten bei den Kolleginnen und Kollegen von der Universität bedanken für die tolle Zusammenarbeit. Und der Mike, den Mike würde ich mal bitten, der ist da hinten irgendwo. Kommst du mal kurz vor? Weil der Mike ist derjenige, der sozusagen der Hauptkoordinator war von der Uni, mit dem wir die Sache sehr lange vorbereitet haben und mit dem wir auch bestens zusammengearbeitet haben. Und ich wollte mich bei dir für alle von uns, bei allen, bei euch bedanken für dieses tolle Projekt, was wir gemacht haben. Und als symbolisches Zeichen kriegst du als der Erste überhaupt ein T-Shirt, das wir ganz frisch haben drucken lassen, mit dem Naxos-Symbol. Ja? Du bist also jetzt sozusagen Ehrenmitglied in unserem Verein. Ja? Und da ja du nicht alleine das gemacht hast, sondern viele andere, gebe ich dir jetzt mal eine Reihe von Briefen, die wir gemacht haben, und bitte dich, das in eurem Kreis zu verteilen. Also Dankeschreiben an alle anderen, verbunden mit ein paar Freikarten. Und wir hoffen, dass wir viele von den netten Kolleginnen und Kollegen von der Uni auch mal zu der Vorstellung wieder begrüßen. Also einen herzlichen Dank für die tolle Zusammenarbeit und alles Gute für die Zukunft und besucht uns öfters mal. Danke.
Sprachlos. Vielen Dank, große Ehre, auch Ehrenmitglied. Und ich glaube, von allen von uns können wir auch sagen, es war für uns eine ganz tolle Erfahrung, weil wir quasi auch mal unsere Forschungsgebiete quasi filmisch zeigen können, anderes Publikum erreichen. Auch viel gelernt haben, quasi auch von euch in der Zusammenarbeit, und es hat super funktioniert. Also macht weiter so.
Okay, danke. So.
Ja, wir würden jetzt beginnen mit dem Filmsprechen. Vorher noch eine technische Geschichte. Die Diskussion wird auf Englisch sein. Wahrscheinlich sprechen die meisten von euch Englisch. Wenn es welche gibt, für die das vielleicht bequem wäre, ab und zu eine Übersetzung zu bekommen, dann würde ich diese Person bitten, hier vorne ins Film zu setzen. Ich würde das dann zwischendurch übernehmen. Ansonsten ist die Diskussion, mit der wir jetzt erstmal beginnen, zwischen Daniel Kaiser vom Exzellenzcluster Normative Orders. Er arbeitet darin, das habe ich vorhin schon gesagt, als Politikwissenschaftler mit dem Schwerpunkt Befreiungsbewegung in Mosambik, hat auch in Mosambik gelebt. Und er wird eine Unterhaltung beginnen mit Göran Olsson. Der Filmemacher ist aus Schweden, und wir fangen jetzt an. Ich gebe das Wort an Daniel, und ich hoffe, und wir werden ungefähr gegen 10, halb 11 die Diskussion beenden.
Ja, auch von mir nochmal ein herzliches Dankeschön, auch an Naxos und ganz besonders an dich, Barbara, für die wirklich sehr nette Kooperation in der Vorbereitung dieses Events. Und ich werde jetzt kurz auf Deutsch noch Göran vorstellen und dann ins Englische switchen. Göran ist, wie sein Name schon vermuten lässt, ein Regisseur aus Schweden, geboren in Lund, glaube ich. Und ist neben diesem Film auch bekannt für Filme, das Black Power Mixtape, was ich ja schon angekündigt habe, was morgen im Internationalen Zentrum gezeigt wird. Und der neueste Film 2016 ist Fonko. Das ist eine Serie von 6 Episoden, wo es um zeitgenössische urbane Musik aus verschiedenen afrikanischen Städten gibt. Und ja, ich glaube, es lohnt sich auch, diese Filme sich mal anzugucken. Genau. Göran macht Filme, seitdem er 18 ist. Vorhin hat er mir erzählt, weil er so schlecht war in Musik machen, dass er dann muss ich anderes überlegen. Und ja, I'm very happy to welcome you here tonight, Göran. Thanks for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. I'm very delighted to have you here because the movie, obviously, as anyone can imagine, with what I'm researching is touching very much upon what I'm interested in. So I'm very excited to be here. So I also want to say sorry for the audience if I take the possibility of asking the first questions, and then I will pass the microphone to you. So I'm sorry if I take away anyone's question. Just to start, because what I...
Could I just...
Yes, of course.
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you all for, from the bar to Daniel for bringing the film here. I'm really flattered by that and happy that the film is still screening. I don't travel with the film for several reasons. I think it speaks for itself. I have nothing especially to add to it, so don't expect any profound wisdom from me, but yeah. I don't know why. I know why, because Daniel wrote me a long time ago, and there was something in the tone of your letter that said, okay, I go. Because I never go anywhere with the film. I've been invited to Trinidad and Tobago for 3 times, and said, no, I can't go. And so it's a rare opportunity. I've been to, the film was opening in Sundance, of course I went there, and the Berlinale, and someplace else. That's it. So I'm not saying you should be flattered. I'm going to say it's a disclaimer. Don't expect anything from me. But if you have questions, please raise your hand immediately and ask them. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to the film. Great place.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You're welcome. I didn't know that. I'm flattered. I forgot something, and because it's to the movie, I think it was published recently, right? It has been published recently, a book about, maybe you can say some words on it.
No, it's actually
interested people.
Obviously the film is an adaptation of the Frans Fanon book. And then we but we added some of the text from the book, actually just the first and last chapter. And then we made a book from the film, containing, of course, the text from Frans Fanon, and the dialogue from the film, and some German professor and the Spivak preface in full, blah blah blah. So it's a great book. It's on Amazon. You can buy it. I don't get anything from it, so it's not like that. It's just, if you're interested in the alternative for some of you will be, I will hand out, give me my bag. I have this poster I made with the text from the film. And I don't have enough, so you have to earn it by asking questions or give remarks. So this is a poster, you can have it on the wall, and you can read this text every day. But you have to earn it by making noise or something.
Yeah, seems like a very academic poster to me, which might also attract the audience here. I want to take the opportunity also to mention that we also have the original books or about and of Franz Fanon over there at the table. And thanks a lot to the Karl Marx Buchhandlung who came here to present these books and sell them. So if you are interested in the old text, the original text, you can find it over there. And we also have some books from the Cluster of Excellence on the left-hand side before you enter. So now, enough promotion. Now I think we can start with the questions. And the first thing I would like you to do, Göran, is a rather simple task. Just probably tell us a bit about the material you used and where you took it from, what it is, because I think if you just see the movie, it's rather confusing how it jumps from over time and from place to place, and you don't get much context of what we're actually seeing and how it was produced. So maybe you can say some words on it.
Yeah, okay. Because for me, this book is about the text and the ideas of Göran. So the first idea was just actually to have this on a black screen with the graphics, like a karaoke, revolutionary karaoke commercial, maybe you could say. And then we were thinking about having, because for me, this text is about today, it's about the world today. You know, we all have to translate it, and it's so universal. It's like reading a book that you have to translate it today, and it's so obvious how. And for me, by the time we worked it, we had the siege of Gaza. It was obvious to me that that situation is totally phenomenal. But it goes beyond that, this text, I think. Also, you could say that the dynamics with violence could go for domestic violence as well. Right? I mean, it's the same dynamics and process in that. So I think everybody who sees this film sees that the images are dated, and they obviously have a colonial look upon the people on the camera. But you see beyond that. And obviously Fanon's text is also dated. He uses gendered names in a very old-fashioned way. You get that? Is that kind of true? Europe is a she, and every person is a he, and blah blah blah. So, and we try to, but I think it's very easy to translate to today. So for me, it's about today. So we search for different images, an image solution to carry the text. And then in the Swedish broadcast company, I found this footage, which I knew about before. So it wasn't like I was searching for it. I knew about this, that this is, and also that it's kind of, it's in color, and, you know, it's kind of crisp. So it was a long not long, but it was a process before we embarked on using these images. And they're all, not all, but 95% of them is shot by Swedish journalists or documentary filmmakers. And broadcasted in Sweden only once in the 70s.
Okay, so thanks a lot, also because you are we're already touching on questions I wanted to ask. Closer? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sorry. So what I really like about the movie is the preface of Spivak, because I think she criticizes in a very eloquent way, somehow he did, but actually it's a strong criticism of the movie. And this is what I wanted to talk with you a bit about it, because I was wondering what kind of ethical problems you saw, especially of the representation, or not ethical, but the general problems of the representation of these movements and of people in general in the movie. I can tell you a bit more concrete. For example, first, I mean, Fanon wrote these things before 61, right, when he died, And the images we see is mostly from the liberation wars that started the earliest in '62 in Guinea-Bissau, and even later in Rhodesia in 1987, Thomas Sankara and others. So, don't you think it's problematic to detach the text from its historical context by putting it together with the images from much later, especially so if you see that the movements that are shown actually did not identify at all with the ideas of Frantz Fanon. So,
I'm not sure that I agree with the last, but again, I think I touched upon this before. I think that the film is problematic, all the images are problematic, there's a lot of problems everywhere, you know, about representation and everything. But I think also they are obvious, and we make it even more obvious with having Gertrude Spivak criticize them and laying out that the film has problems, but we are aware of them. And I think the audience today could see, if they know that we know, they not oversee with the colonial view upon people in Africa or something, but they understand that we understand it, and we can take it from that. Because also, a lot of these images are really unique. This film was screened in Mozambique in Maputo during the 40th year anniversary at the big square, because they are the only images from that time with sound in color from Mozambique. And even when the women are singing, I don't think that dialect is even recorded, and it disappeared. So yes, there are dilemmas, but documentary filmmaking is so much about that all the time, because you always use people in one way, not always, but most of the time, you use people for your own purpose, in a way, and displace them in context. So, and the audience knows that now. But of course, having Gertrude Spivak pointing that out helps, in a strange way.
yeah, absolutely, I think so too. Thanks for the answer. And another thing I wanted to talk about, because this is something we are thinking a lot about in our research context, is like, in how far you think that these, I don't know if you can answer this question because it's a pretty insightful question, but I was wondering how far you think these representations you are taking out from the 70s from the Swedish Broadcasting Company, and how far did they relate to the actual practices of the resistance on the ground? And how far do you think did they shape how the resistance actually was practiced? So is it, what I want to touch on is, in how far is it really true? I mean, of course it's not a reality, but it's problematic, and that's what also I meant before, isn't it problematic showing it like that and putting the text of Frantz Fanon, which is very much simplifying. I mean, you have the dichotomy between the colonizer and the colonized, which in reality has never been like this. Of course, you can see it with the checkpoints and everything, but I think you have to be aware that it's much more complex. And in how far do representations we see in the Swedish broadcast, but reproduced again and emphasized by your movie, that gives us a perspective on these fights and on this resistance that is completely wrong. Don't you think that's a problematic thing?
Okay. I don't know where to start, because it was kind of a multi-layered question.
You can choose.
Okay. You know, film is really a simplified form of communication. And it has to be simplified because you're taking all the attention and in time. You lock the audience. You have to sit like this and you have to look at it all the time. It's a very demanding media. So, and it's not suitable for any especially profound thoughts in that way. It has to be be simplified, I think, in one way. Also, I have to stress the voice and narration by Lauren here is so great, and we had a lot of discussion with her because we have mutual friends, and I knew she was into Fanon. So by the time we did the film, she was in jail. And I wrote a normal letter or old school letter to her in jail and asked if she was interested to do the narration, and she said it's absolutely amazing because I'm in my cell every night reading Fanon as I spend time here for some tax thing I couldn't figure out. But as I will do the narration, but I will also do the music. But she wasn't released. She was released so late, so we didn't have time for her to wait on her music. She was released on Friday. Monday morning she was in the studio recording the voice. And she did it a couple of times, and I got it, and it was way too fast. She was reading very, very fast. And I said to her, you have to slow down, and she did it again, and it was still too fast. And she did it all in all 11 times. And I said, you have to go slower. And she said to me, no, I can't do that, because when I read this text, it's like revelation. It's a discovery. It's a relief. And when it's a revelation, it's also a celebration. So, and when it's celebration, it's up-tempo. It was when she was saying, like, when John Coltrane and Charlie Parker discovered the African roots in jazz, they went up-tempo, opposed to Miles Davis, who went down-tempo. And I said, yeah, you're right, I have nothing to argue against that. But when you have a film, you're so connected to the audience. If you have a text, you can read it in your own tempo, go back and forth and so on. Or if you have a song, you can listen to the song many, many times. And she said to me, no, people will see this thing so many times. And I said, maybe, I hope you're right, but I'm not sure. So, but okay, I give you that too, but you have to go slower anyway. And she said, okay, fine, I'm going to do it slower, and she did it slower. So it's not that by any means entertainment. This is an experimental documentary film, but we're working in that field. So I'm not an intelligent person. I'm not good with language. It's not like I dropped out of university. I never got in because my grades were so bad because I'm not smart. And maybe Lauren Gilliam shows that, but we are interested in these issues, but we are not academics. And we try to, you say simplified, most people would say understandable. We try to make them understandable in the way, or in your world, naturally, that means to simplify it, because you are an academic, and academics have to thesis and antithesis and whatever. I don't know anymore. I'm just filming, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. I think that was great. So I think we should turn now to the audience. So there are so many of you, and for sure all of you want such a wonderful poster. You already had them, although you all have glass.